Hey everyone, I want to show you all how to create a Gantt chart or timeline in Microsoft Word, and I'm using a grant writing course that I'm teaching in the fall of 2023 as an example. So in that class, like, students have to create a timeline, and so here's a list of things that might be part of a grant project, and we want to go from that to something like this. So a timeline where we have the time frames at the top and then the different steps here, and we want to be able to, like, say this step is going to take these 2 months and this other step will take these other 2 months. This is a great visual representation of a long-term project, and it can kind of show people that you have things in order and you're organized enough. So it does a few different technical things that might be a little difficult and take you time to figure out. So this walkthrough will show you how to do this. First step is to insert a chart into a Word document. So let me open up a new Word document. And so I want to insert a chart, and the number of rows and the number of columns you need is dictated by the time frame that you're using, and it's also dictated from the number of steps that you're going to include. So if I have 12 steps here, I need to do 12 plus 1. If I want to use a year as my time frame, then I want to show it by months. You can also do quarters or weeks, however you want to break that time down. You just need to add 1 to that number in order to create your time frame. So in this new Word document, I'm going to do 13 by 13, 12 months plus 1, and then 12 items plus 1. Insert table, 13 by 13. Okay, so that is looking okay, but it's going to be really there's going to be really narrow columns unless I change the formatting here, change the layout, go to orientation, go to landscape. You might drag it out to the edge. Okay, so once we have that, you can just populate the different steps here and the months up here. Alright, so I have everything more or less put in here, but a few formatting things to kind of pretty this up and make it look a little bit better. So I want to make these rows not quite as thick as they are. It's taking up a lot of space. It's kind of hard to see things, so I might want to bring this out. Use this little feature here where you grab onto one of these borders and you pull it to the right to get it to move everything to the right. And that kind of creates a little bit more space here. Okay, good, you see it there. But now this is not looking all that great. Like, these columns are all kind of a different width and it kind of looks a little messy. So the way to fix that is to highlight the columns that you want to make a little bit more uniform. And the way to do that is you put the cursor a little bit above one of the columns, and that little arrow that you see there, click it and drag it all the way to the right. Go to the Layout tab and you go to Distribute Columns. It's going to distribute all of them evenly. So whatever that you have selected, they're all going to be the same width. So there we go. Let's say we want to change the direction, so you go to the Alignment section here. We say we want all the text in the middle, but on the bottom, and aligned everything on the bottom. You can do it that way. If you want everything on the middle, and centered and in the middle, you can go about it that way. So to create a timeline, in order to kind of fill these in, so we know how long we're talking about, you select the rows or the cells that you want to be colored, and you can do this from the Home tab, but you're going to the Fill or the Shading feature here. You can also, I think you can also right-click it. Yeah, it's right there. You do that, and it shows up. It's darkened. I would say we do those. Keep going. I don't know. I'm just kind of filling these in. Not really paying attention to the content here. That's just kind of about the formatting. But you see how it goes on to another page. And it'd be nice sometimes to be able to see what the header is. Here's, you don't have the time frames up at the top here. So you go to the top row that you want to repeat on the next page, right click on it, go to table properties, the row section here, so they have all these features here, and these are kind of helpful to know about as well. But the row, repeat as header row at the top of each page, you click that, and it's going to be here. Pretty handy, huh? Okay. So you keep going through, keep clicking, and that's all kind of helpful stuff. Now let's say you want to put this in a Word document and you want to keep the orientation like this for your Gantt chart, but then you want to go back to, let's say that this is part of an overall grant proposal or a larger document, and you want to go back to the normal text, which means that you want it in portrait format, or you want to go back to portrait format. So the way that you do that is you go to, give me a second here, yeah, it's layout. So you go to layout, the layout tab up at the top, the breaks feature right here. Next page, you want a section break. The section break, when you have sections in your Word document, you can then change the orientation of the page in sections. So you can't do it from one page to another, but you can do it between sections. So go to next page and go to layout. That's layout again. Orientation, portrait. So you have this page is portrait. These two pages are landscape. And that's, I think that's what you need to know. So you can kind of play around with the cells here, but I think the handy thing to kind of remember is that if things get kind of tweaked, you highlight, get that little arrow above the columns, select the columns that you want, go to layout, go to distribute columns, and it'll format it for you. Okay, that's it.